Jack Jacoby, 15 Prince Street. I'm not here in the capacity of representing any client. I'm just here as a public spirited citizen. Right now, we have a split of authority in the sense that you are the special permit granting authority for marijuana establishments, but the zoning board retained jurisdiction over all of the other subsidiary things such as parking space size and earth removal and everything else that might go into an application. And my opinion is that that split is not a good one. I think that asking the zoning board to act on certain things without the actual use, or asking you to act on the use without the other things that go with it that are required, is not good policy. And so I recommend that you put it all in one place. And it seems to me that it should be with the zoning board. That's what they do. I know how much time you have spent on these applications. I've been in front of you for hours on one of them. And my opinion is that you should do what you do best, which is spend the taxpayers' money wisely and make policy and legislate for the city, and that the zoning board is well set up to grant these permits. So I think that this is a good thing, and I hope that you would pass it so that we have all of the authority over the applications in one place and your time is freed up. I know how much time you guys spend on everything else, and I'd rather see you doing the things that are really, really important for the city.
Any questions?
I know in the past, one of the arguments in favor of keeping this with the council as the special permit granting authority was that there was an expectation that we would add more visibility to some of these special permits. Do you feel that that's still required? Is there any value in holding on to, us adding some visibility to these licenses that we should hold on to, or do you think it's best to hand it over to the zoning board?
Well, I think it is best to hand it over to the zoning board. I would suggest to you that the same people are going to get the notice, no matter who is the special permit granting authority. The only difference is the zoning board meetings aren't televised, but that's something that we have no control over. I would suggest to you that that the zoning board is well set up to handle this. They are well set up to listen to abutters and give them what they're due in making decisions. And so I think the only difference is that they're not televised, and I'm not sure why.
Any questions from the planning board? Council Matthew, were you thinking about the question? You looked like you were going to go like that.
Don't I look good to control myself?
Thank you, Ken.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else here to speak in favor? Anyone else to speak in favor? Anyone to speak in opposition? Anyone to speak in opposition? Anyone neither for nor against? Yeah.
Good evening, Council President, members of the Municipal Council, Planning Board Chairman, and members of the Planning Board. For the record, my name is Gary Arazian. I'm the City's Director of Planning and Development. And I'm actually here tonight just neutral on the matter. It's not a matter of land use policy. It's not really a matter of substance, so I really don't have an opinion because it's a matter of process, whether the Municipal Council continues to administer the zoning ordinance for this matter or the zoning board. It's one half dozen of the other. What I wanted to express tonight to the council and the planning board is we briefly spoke about this at the zoning board meeting, and I just want to reassure the city council and the planning board, should you ultimately make the zoning board the SPGA, will do the job. And also for the reasons that Attorney Jacoby spoke about, he kind of stole my thunder. There are some applications that the special permit for the marijuana use is before the city council, but for a variety of reasons, other forms of relief are needed. Earth removal, parking, work within a floodplain, buffer zones, variances. It would be helpful if that was all bundled together, because the zoning board could ask questions about land use. Now, of course, that's not absolutely critical, because there are instances where the land use is already by right, and you need that relief anyway. So it's not like the special permit is the panacea for everything, and you have to go to the zoning board. There are several instances where the land use is permitted by right, you need this other ancillary relief, and the board really doesn't have the authority to ask too many questions about the land use. So on that one point, I kind of differ from Attorney Jacoby, that because the land use is before the city council, it's a little difficult for the zoning board. Lots of times the land use is by right and the zoning board doesn't have jurisdiction. But in this case, since it is the land use with one body and the other ancillary relief with another board, you know, there are lots of questions we're chomping on the bit to ask, but out of fairness to the applicant, you really can't. Our focus is narrowed. But if we bundle it up together, we're perfectly capable of processing it, just like we do everything else. So I just want to, again, at 50,000 feet, just convey to you that the board, the zoning board, will do a great job if you do ultimately, your ultimate wisdom, make the board the SPGA.
Great, thank you.
Thank you for coming or being here as always, Gary. So we've gone through a couple of these applications, and would it be your opinion that it would help additionally streamline the process internally here between our office and your office and the building office and everybody else's offices?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions from the planning board? Any from the council? Council votes?
I just want to say thank you for all the reports that your office puts together and all of your help in pushing forward these special permits. And there's a lot of work. And obviously, it's a joint effort between you and Virginia, but I forget how long what that last report was.
Well, there were 5 applications out of fairness, so it wasn't one report that was 50 pages. There were 5 different applications on that, so.
At least 50, 60 pages. So I know there's a lot of work that happens behind the scenes there, and I just want to say thank you for
Thank
that.
you,
It's incredible.
Well, that's just a little porthole that you get into our office, but I know the planning board can attest. We do that with the zoning board, the planning board, and the conservation commission. It's not like we do that for the city council, but there's just one little aspect that you realize, you know, what my staff goes through, so they're very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Council Holmes, do you see any reason to keep this public hearing open? Mr. Chairman, do you see any reason to keep this public hearing? Declare that public hearing closed, and we will, the planning board is continuing their meeting.